Hello viewers, how are you doing? My name is Doc Vikela. Welcome to Simuka Comedy Festival, the virtual edition 2020. Due to coronavirus, let's get to do this online and live and direct from the comfort of our own homes and in offices. No one will know where you are. So welcome to the Satire, a symposium, so to speak, where we are going to be talking about the impact of satire, where we are going to be talking about the power of satire. So today on the show, I've got satirists of note, satirists who have satirized not only Zimbabwe, but the continent, the sub-region, and all over the world. So I'm not going to be formal about it and try to say, so the first satirist is so and so, I'll just add them. Please welcome Comrade Fatso.
Hello, my comrades. Ahoy, ahoy. Vote for me. I'm not sure for what, but just vote for me and I will be fine.
Yes, Comrade Fatso, we welcome you to the power of satire. The symposium we are saying, let's discuss, let's talk about satire. Let's, get to have the understanding of the impact of satire, or what is satire. Maybe some people don't even know what satire is, right?
True. Yeah. No, I think sometimes we say we are satirists and people say, oh, Murma Satanist. So there's definitely a lot of misconceptions about what we do. But don't worry, we don't pray to Satan. We joke about the powerful. That's what we do.
Right, at this moment, let me also welcome one of Zimbabwe's powerful satirists, the one, the only, Maggie Magraz. Maggie.
Hey.
Baby.
Baby. Unenge wakaronga zvinhu zvako zvakanaka kuti chatichisa kuti cha network yobva yakuitira mawana.
Oh, okay. And in future, just go to areas where there's strong network, like Lombo Shower. You never get lost there, or even
go to what?
The airport areas. To Lombo Shower.
Lombo Shower,
where power resides. So okay. So now I think I think in Nigeria, but we were in now. I think in Nigeria. So yeah. So to our viewers, welcome once again. At this particular moment, we just want to get into it. Unfortunately, we are trying to connect to the other two panelists, and you know how it is. Bed border post causing so many problems to the movement of information and people alike in Zimbabwe. Comrade Q is trying to sort out his papers, his passport to get stamped, to get enough hours to be with us, but they're still processing. So still we await the process to go through. He's here. I told you they were stamping his paperwork and but still they are still trying to make sure that we have him here live and direct.
I think he's joining bit by bit. Internet here in South Africa, it's not as delicious as ours in Zimbabwe, Plus, I think Q, I think he often buys those cheap data bundles. That's the problem.
Bit by bit waiting for our other panelists. The network there, I think they know that this thing is going to be explosive, and they are trying their level best to they are trying their level best to
haters.
Haters. They don't know what to talk. So yeah, comrade, I think while we have the connectivity, just getting into it, man. I hate definitions. But I think before we get into talking about satire, probably people back home would want to, understand what's your understanding of satire as a satirist of not. what do you think is satire? Without jumping to Wikipedia, Google, what do you think from a layman's point of view? What do you think is satire?
Right. I won't jump into Wikipedia or into my dictionary because that's what Maggie is really good at. That she gives the proper definition. So even I can just make it up. For me, satire is really about using humor to speak truth to power. You know, it can be comedy, it can be, you know, political satire shows like The Week or like Wakuru. It can be cartoons, like, you know, back in the day we had Tony Namate. And then, of course, on the continent, you've got the big, you know, amazing cartoonists like Zapiro and Gado and stuff. So a satire can be many different forms of kind of political comedy that speaks truth to power, and that punches upwards. I think that's the key thing also to note with satire is, you know, I think political satire is not here to make fun of the poor, the marginalized, and the struggling. They've already been oppressed by power. There's no point for us to punch down. So satire focuses very much on the powerful in society. So in Zimbabwe, it's our ruling party, the government, ZANU-PF. It's you know, the MDC alliance is the main opposition. It's our prophets and preachers. And it's the, you know, it's the big business, the millionaires and billionaires and the many tenderpreneurs who make millions through dodgy means. So I think that's very much who we poke fun at with our satire.
Okay. Yeah, like one other person alluded to that. With satire, you just have to realize that. Don't take it. Welcome back, Maggie.
Thank you. I hope it's much better now.
Much better. Whoever borrowed you that data bundle, the lifesaver. Yeah, we need to thank whoever that is. If that person had 6 kg of gold, let's thank that person. Welcome.
Yeah, I think
Dube.
Yeah, now we're
power. He hasn't left the bar since last night. Can you not see it's dark there in that the private lounge?
Oh, today is a Saturday.
What's happening, Q? Okay, we just, you know. Okay, so like we're saying, when Maggie, when he joined in, Fatu was just taking us through what satire is from his own perspective. The same with you, who probably you want to share with our audiences what satire, according to your own perspective, without going to the dictionary, just, you know, giving that layman feel of saying, what do you think satire is to you?
Satire, my jokes. Satire to me, it's when we from how we use it, Isuzu. We take what's going on around us, what we're experiencing every day, and we try to show it to people, to put it across to people in a funny way, in a humorous way. But then it's, you know, that it's, what we're talking about here is actually going on. And just like ordinary, just like other jokes, people don't really, not everyone is going to laugh at those jokes because they're going to hit home. So if everyone's laughing at that satire, then it's not, you're not really doing the job. So we make fun of serious, dire situations, but by making fun of them, it's not like we're making light of them. It's different. Making fun and making light are different. We're just trying to talk about things that we wouldn't normally talk about, be able to talk about, whether it's a family setup or it's a religious setup, social setup, economic setup, political setup. The stuff that people might not feel so free to talk about. So, but with satire, you find a way to just throw those points in, throw those things across, and The smart ones will get it. Unfortunately, I don't want to lie. It's not everyone who gets satire. Sometimes you know, for a few lies. You know,
So
you
now,
need to know what to do.
Very true, very true.
Okay, so now that you have, I'll jump onto Fatso and say, comrade, it hasn't been a smooth journey. Like, let's look at when people talk of impact. I always hate when people like ask silly questions like, how do you know that what you're saying, the satire works, right? But I want you to probably to walk us on the journey. I know it was not like when you started Magamba TV and you are there putting out your work, you didn't have 1,000 views with the first episode, right? And then up to now, you now hit 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K views. How has it been like? How have you seen the transition of the influence of, say, Comrade Fatso or Jerome or Mandape? How is I'm saying over the, say, a period of like, say, 10 years or so, how has it been the influence? How do you see it grow? How has it been like?
Yeah, it's a good that's a good question, Doc. And you're actually right. You're saying 10 years. Next year will be 10 years since we started Zambezi News. So I think it's been
Matembera.
You want to start the movement of democratic change in comedy. MDCs.
Okay, so you can say, no, you see that silver, it's just a hair dye. It's not to do with age. We're still young. We're 35 plus.
We wait.
But I think, since when we, of course, like when we started Zambezi News, there was no political satire at the time to speak of. So we started it back in 2011, and it was the first political satire TV show in Zim. It was completely by fluke. It was actually the initial idea of Mutheo Bomba, a good comrade of ours who was involved in Zim International Film Festival. And she came up to me, an outspoken, who at the time we were just a bunch of ragamuffin spoken word artists making noise on stage, talking shit all the time. And she came up to us and she's like, guys, for the closing night of ZIF, can you guys do a comedy news show? And we're like, oh, that's a cool idea. I mean, I'd been doing a bit of stand-up comedy here and there, but mainly talking a lot of shit during my spoken word sets and my performances with my band. And so we're like, that sounds like a really cool idea. But unfortunately, both me and Outspoken were going to be on tour for a month at the time in Denmark with my band, Chapvondoka. So like, unfortunately, we can't do it. And she's like, guys, it's a film festival. We can film and record it before you go and show it at the film festival. So we're like, cool. And then the Monday, the film crew was coming through. I turned to Out like 30 minutes before they came. I was like, dude, we haven't written anything. So we quickly wrote something together and we called it Zambezi News and they shot it. We went off and did our tour, came back, and Mutheo was like, hey, guys, it got a really good response at the film festival closing night. And we're like, okay, maybe we turn this into something. So we did our pilot season in 2011. There was no social media, Facebook. It wasn't a thing in Zim then, we're talking back in the day. So we managed to get some support. So we produced 10,000 DVDs. We produced over 10,000 DVDs that we distributed across the country to over 110 towns, villages, and growth points. From to places such as Sadza and Checheche. And we got like really, really good feedback. We were working with different partners and we were getting feedback via SMS through a lot of grassroots organizations. Really good feedback. But then our favorite piece of feedback was when someone wrote in saying, I can't believe this is the state of our national broadcaster. I can't believe that ZBC has sunk to these levels. And I turned to Outspoken and Michael Ken. I was like, comrades, we can quit after season 1. They think we are ZBC. We've achieved our goals. So I mean, since then, a lot of things have changed. We've had, young people getting much more access to mobile broadband internet. Facebook and WhatsApp are a big thing. And so, so over the years, we've kind of developed new formats for the YouTube generation. So shows like The Week or Tsaona that we put out there. But it's been a really interesting journey because, of course, along the way there's been the emergence of a new generation of political satire outfits. You know, there was P.O. Box some years back, and then, you know, Bus Stop, of course, more recently Simuka, and then you've got also, you know, the likes of Madorofia, Comic Pasta. I mean, there's an explosion of like satirical content now, and it's been amazing to be on that journey. You know, we like to hope that we've been part of inspiring some of that, you know, the new political satire in Zim, and it's amazing to have you know, a movement now of so much really powerful satire and content there online.
Oh, nice. And Craig Tinashe Dube, he says, I remember Michael giving me a copy of this amazing news comic book. You guys were grinding hard. Maybe Craig could tell us, when was this? Because time also is of essence to see really the look, and when was this, and where are you now? Probably we want to see how big the network might have grown. Maybe you might be one of the few lucky ones who have flown out to New Zealand to explore new economies. Like you're saying, this economy, I want to try new economies and new weather. So moving on to Maggie, you yourself coming onto the scene on the back end of no experience whatsoever, jumping into
the network is doing the things.
Deep end. On my part or your part?
The network is doing the things now.
I think maybe on your part, Maggie, I was able to hear Doc, but maybe Doc, you could repeat the question to her, but I was able to hear it. So it might be Maggie's network.
Okay.
Doc, can you repeat again?
Okay, cool. No, we know. I want to apologize on behalf of Simuka Comedy that we know that they know that we are hosting this, and they might tremors. So yeah, but what I was saying, Maggie, was you also being thrown into the deep end. First time coming onto the screen, you doing satire, like you've already been doing it, and already you go onto Bus Stop where they are grinding already, and how was that for you? Like, do you feel like you have impacted probably Zimbabweans enough, locally and abroad, to direct them in this direction of seeing things in a different way during this period?
Okay, I guess, like you say, I was just thrown, and it was a fluke, just like Fatso was saying. I didn't set up to do satire, and now kutobva kumba kwedu ndikatorerwa kunzi aka kachanoita satire, kachanotaura zvese kanoita majokes ezikuitika muZimbabwe. Not at all. But once I started doing it, and like, it just opened up my mind to things that I had no idea were going on around. So yeah, so I don't regret starting doing satire at all. I want to do it more than ever now. So I wanted to say that if we realize that every outfit, behind every outfit of men, there's a woman. Mateo.
Exactly.
To the
no,
females.
You're
right. But to the females. So, right. What did you teach your dog? I was obviously.
So what I was trying to get to was there's this issue of influence, right? That you are now influential, right? And do you feel that?
Oh, okay.
Can you hear? Yeah. Do you think that your satire has had the much needed impact in as much as bringing institutions to accountability, corporates, individuals, even society into improvement? Do you think that your satire, your work has impacted society enough to bring about improvement? Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to believe that it's been 5 years since I joined Bus Stop, but 6 years since Bus Stop has started. I'd like to believe that there has been a change. It might not be like but people are now more aware. People are now more woke, which then pushes institutions, individuals to try kananga vasiri kunyatsohandisa zvinhu vakuwedza kuwandisa a bit more. Kana vanga vakuburisa zvinhu pachena, vanga vasingabudisa zvinhu pachena vakuburisa pachena. we would not. There are companies that did not want to work with us before. They did not believe in what we were doing. We want to work, we can do this for you, we can do this for you. And they did not believe Bafana, can they actually do something for us? These are kids, they can't do anything. But then now they come to us. We have organizations that come to us when they want to push a message, because they see that now that there's social media, it's there now. And we've got the followers, we've got people who are always looking to see what we've got to offer them next. So then now they use our platform and our satire that we offer them to put across messages to people, be it about service delivery, be it about gender-based violence, be it about whatever campaign that you want to push forward. They now see that if you put it across in a satirical way, more people are engaged, more people log on and want to see, and the message goes across farther and wider in Zimbabwe, beyond Zimbabwe, but Zimbabweans to Zimbabweans across the divide. So it works, and you get feedback from people, the comment section. You get international broadcasters news coming through to do stories on us, on our journeys, and meaning that they've seen something, they've seen that something's going on, there's a shift that's going on. So because I go France or Germany or Netherlands kuta story bus stop just because there's been something, there's been a change. And the whole fact that they'd arrest us, abduct one of us, just shows you that there is an impact. Because why are you coming to my inbox and threatening me? There's an impact. And that just gives us more, that drives me further. It keeps me want to continue doing this.
Yes, and it's really critical because actually, Comrade Fatso, there's an interesting comment here from Felix Brown. He says, I'm not sure what but the fact that Panadog, Fatso, Namagi are just hang in, isn't that impact?
Nobody impact.
What do you...
The comrade is not here for the content, he's here just for the good-looking faces. But those very good.
Let me say to you,
no, of course. I mean, that shows funny impact, funny recognition. But I mean, there's something that I get often. It's fortunate, but it's also unfortunate, where you realize, okay, people are starting to know who you are, because people come up to me in the street, or even when I'm driving, stopped at the robots, and all of a sudden they just say, "Yo, Comrade Fatso, Futsek!" Which it's quite startling. I think I started. If I could go back in time, I would have changed the word. I get startled on a regular basis, and also I'm not sure if these are fans or supporters of the show, or they are actually just angry. Man. So I'm one.
So, but okay. On a lighter note, I know you have a son. A toddler son. Are you not afraid that maybe one day he's gonna catch onto his daddy swerve? Like, Sulemani Chimbe to his father, oh! So he follows after his father, and you have the Mugabe boys spending. But are you not afraid of your little boy going Futsek? You ask him, where is the milk? Futsek.
I think that's the problem in the Zimbabwean art sectors. We always feel like when the parent passes away, they need to now hand over to their kids. But our comrades, it's not, this arts thing is not a monarchy. So just because so and so is the talented musician, the son or daughter may not be. So same on the side of satire. But we'll see. Maybe the young comrade will soon have his own YouTube channel and be a content creator. I mean, he always takes my phone anyway. So let's see.
You never know.
That's what these guys
they see what's going on around them and they want to emulate. Even my daughter, you find it saying action, directing a little kid, then do something, and I'm like, okay, Shawn, we'll see.
She's directing already, eh?
Yeah.
Already, yeah. So Maggie, there's a question here. It's the question is from Lisa Gutu. She says, how big is the role of women in doing satire at the moment? I mean, from the production side.
Hello.
Yes, Maggie. So I'm saying there's a comment there from Lisa. She's asked, what's your take on that? Yeah, I think we're having issues with Maggie's network there. Maybe while she's trying to come back again. Comrade, yeah, there's Louis T. Chihata. He says here, one way you impact guys, do you know most diasporans follow your news from home? Your satire is also news. Is this the intended effect?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
effect?
Yeah, definitely. I think you know, for us producing a show like The Week, it's very much about how we can get alternative, independent news out there to young people and packaging it in a humorous format. But being able to give young people the news and then information about what's happening socially, politically, economically, so they can also be able to take action and be part of bringing about positive change in society. So that's really, I mean, that's a key aim for like The Week. We always have a get involved section where people can, you know, they can join in action, they can sign a petition, they can get involved in a campaign. Because I think for us, it's key that we also use our satire as information for action. And so, yeah, you know, and with the, you know, the growing audience that, you know, that we have, of course, that we collectively have between Magamba TV, Bus Stop, Simuka. It's also a big responsibility because you know that people come there for news or for skits about the political situation. And we get those comments a lot on the page, just like what the Comrade Lewis has just posted about, is a lot of people come onto our page and after an episode of The Weekend will post, thanks for posting this, guys. This is why I come onto Facebook once a week just to get my news. I'm not reading the papers because I don't believe it. So it's a responsibility on us to make sure that even if we're giving a humorous take on the news, we still need to be factual. We still need to be fact-checking. And so that's a big part of also writing the scripts of The Week when we're writing it with our team, is we always ensure that we fact-check and we have to make sure we get those facts right. Because people, young people are coming to us for the news, and it also shows how polarized Zimbabwean society is, and the issues that there are with mainstream media or traditional media is unfortunately, I think so much of our media now is already is captured. It's either run by the state or it's run by regime enablers. And so I think young people don't necessarily see, they don't see content there that speaks to them in the big media houses, because it's either pro government, or in many ways it just speaks in the language of the elite. So I think that's also the power of satire, is getting across very important message in a very humorous way.
Oh, precisely. Yeah. Maggie, welcome back. So as before, I think what Fatu has highlighted is very critical, and you realize that what prompts most of satirical action is the news, is what we get in the news, and then we broadcast it, we unpack it and package it in a way that people can digest and really see everything for what it is. Yeah. So Maggie, when you jumped out, we had asked you. There was a comment from Lisa. Do you care to comment on that one before we move forward to the other questions?
Yeah, definitely. The role of women in satire production side. What people don't know, when it comes to Bus Stop TV, they actually have more females than males. So I'm happy about that. But only was kind of who are behind the scenes production side that people don't know. And then I've noticed with Simuka, we've got a healthy number of females, but we would want more. We would want more females to come and take part, not just in front of the screen, but behind the screens. Me and Samantha also do some stuff behind the screens. Samantha been going at it. So it's not just about being the faces of, it's about taking part in the production side. And mushawagara unongobatanizwa nevakadzi so we always do the work. So production side.
Yes.
So yeah, we do the work. Kwese kuzambezi kumagamba, there are females all over. And some people might think it's a man's world, but it really isn't. When it comes to industry, it's not just a man's world. We all work. Both genders are there doing the work. So I'm proud of our little industry. What are we? Catchy.
A little industry, yeah.
Yeah, we're always looking for more females, more people, and there are always jobs, always opportunities out there. Saka, if you feel good, if there's someone out there, if a female out there who feels good today for something, for what it takes, they've got something to offer, satire-wise, production-wise, whatever, just come through to any of those three production houses.
Yeah,
check out. We always accept you with.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. I think also maybe Fato, can you comment on that? Yeah, I feel like we need to what your perception from the production side, maybe how big is the role of women in doing satire at the moment?
Yeah. No, I think it's a really good question because I think for us, at Magamba TV, it's so important to make sure that we've got equal participation from women and men in our production. So I think it's important to also practice positive discrimination, to practice women's empowerment, so that you ensure that actually, so you're saying this role that we're hiring for, we will just be hiring a woman, to ensure that we're I think balancing out any sexism or the kind of existing patriarchy that there is in the arts industry anyway. So I think that's very important, and I think I know definitely Simuka and Bus Stop have the same approach. So for us, for the week, our director is a guy, the producer is a woman. In terms of our actors on the week, I think we've got a really good cross section. So it's 50-50 between guys and ladies. So I think there's actually a really good representation of women in political satire, but we do need to. I think it's something we need to continually work on purposefully. I think, of course, Maggie and Gonyet are great satire icons for young girls, because they've been doing it for a while, and they're massive household names. And so we also need to be working on ensuring that we're part of identifying the talent of that next generation of young women political satirists. I think we've been working on that also with Maggie and the Bus Stop team and our Magamba TV team. Recently, we had our first ever school of satire, where we had.
Yes, I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, exactly. And you came and did a talk there, Doc, of course. And that was all about bringing young aspiring satirists from across the country together for a boot camp for a few days about what is satire, how do you how do you write it, how do you perform it, how do you get it out there. So we had a bunch of different talks, and really a really amazing mix of young women and men who were now working with and supporting 3 brand new satirical outfits with 3 new shows between Bus Stop and Magamba. And it also has intentionally a good mix of young men and young women. So I think we have to be intentional about how we grow the industry and making sure that there's always the adequate space for political satirists who are women.
Yes, yes. And also, I think a point also to note there that Bastop just commented here that Magen Gonyeta, the first female comedians to lead a TV show in Zimbabwe. That was actually revolutionary, and it gave birth to so many female satirists of late, and this is commendable. There's a question for you there, comrade, before I move on to the next question here. Fatso, have you received any threats so far for your work?
Yes. I mean, it's a common thing. I know Maggie already referred to threats that she gets. I think it's quite a common form that to happen for those of us involved in political satire. Look, I think 2017 was an example of the kind of the threats that we get as political satirists and activists. The year started in 2017 with the Harare City Council trying to demolish our creative hub, Motor Republic, calling it an illegal structure. By the middle of the year, the police were threatening to not allow us to have our Shoko Festival because they said, no, you guys just do political comedy and satire. We won't let it go ahead. And that was because the previous year we'd had Zambezi News perform political satire, Gonyet had done a fire set, and a certain comrade Doc Vikela, the cops recounted to us, said a joke that as Zimbabweans were not ready for our own currency because we don't have a dead president to put on it yet. And so the cops were like, assassination, that's assassination. And we're like, no, that's comedy. So they nearly didn't allow us to have our festival that year. And then by the end of the year, at the end of 2017, they'd arrested our Magamba TV producer, Martha O'Donovan, locked her up in Chikurubi, accusing her of trying to overthrow the government. They raided our Motor Republic offices, confiscated all our laptops, and luckily we were saved by the coup. The coup happened on the same day. So some of us woke up in safe houses to turn on the TV and see a general saying, this is not a coup, this is a military-assisted transition. And we were like, those charges about trying to overthrow the government yesterday.
What are the odds?
Do it.
Yeah, man. Okay, so I think we're getting interesting. I think here from the comment section here we can notice that the impact of satire is huge. There's someone who just said, "Hi guys, thank you so much for this. How do we take this to the grassroots sustainably?" So this is another issue of impact now, of saying in what direction is our satire going? What is the plan of taking the satire to every little corner of the country? What is, because yes, the internet is there, it's pushing online, and people have phones now, the majority of the people. But what other ways do we, like from what Lenton is saying, that grassroots sustainably? Maggie, what are your thoughts on that?
I think, like Fatso touched on just briefly when he spoke of School of Satire, that's trying to take satire to the grassroots. Because when the students came for the boot camp, they didn't just come from Harare. They were from various places of Zimbabwe. So I think they were actually someone from Gwanda, Blawayo, if I'm not mistaken, Chunguiza. I cannot think of all the places, but we had so many students, and just like half of them were from Harare. The rest were from all over Zimbabwe. So just trying to make sure that we have people there that are doing satire. And now there are 3 groups, 3 outfits, 3 productions that are going to come from the School of Satire that we did, and they are working from there, from those different parts of Zimbabwe, and doing satire from there, doing their productions from there. So I feel once you show them what to do, how we do it, then they can then incorporate other people from their areas, and then we can have many productions, many groups from different parts of Zimbabwe doing what we're doing at the moment, because people want to do satire, but yet they just don't know how to get up, how to get going, how to go about it. Because I meet so many people. I met this girl on set last 2 weeks ago. She's in school. She was like, aita kutera munhu wese. We're shooting in Chitungwiza on location. She was following almost anyone she could. I write, I want to write, I want to act, I want to be behind the production. She was so serious, and so we meet so many people all the time. So if we can just manage to continue doing school satire, doing workshops, Simuka does workshops a lot. I remember you actually went to Blawayo and stuff doing workshops, and we didn't sustainability, but it will take a while. I don't want to lie, because even when we started as Bus Stop TV, we're still trying to, make sure this job that we do, because it's also a job. This is a job. It's not just something we do. It's a full-time gig. It's a full-time job that we're doing. And I'm sure there are more people out there who want to do this full-time satire. So just keep watching out for more workshops, more school of satire boot camps. There's always something, and you can email any one of us, be Simuka, Bus Stop TV, Magamba Network. There's always someone who's willing to give a hand if you're interested in something, so that this can mushroom out into the rest of Zimbabwe. Because, like he's saying, the internet is going out there. Yes, we might have more national broadcasting channels, but I feel like more people are still into the social media and satire than the 6 ZBCs.
That's the reality, Maggie. That's the reality. Is after they announced there's 6 news stations. I mean, half of which are connected to the army, the others are connected to the ZANU-PF. I mean,
I'm sorry.
After that announcement, it's basically, comrades, you are guaranteed you will still be coming onto Facebook and onto YouTube to watch Bus Stop, Simuka, or Magamba TV for your news. Because, sorry, over the next 5 years, those 6 stations not giving.
I couldn't help myself.
Yeah.
And this is what as Buddha say, my 6 channels. I just couldn't help myself.
No, but it shows people say our government doesn't work hard. Our government shanda because they have to work so hard. Imagine how hard to come up with ways of running 6 different channels, but still it all being a part of Msangan.
Yeah. Okay. So interesting. I think it's sorry guys, I don't know what my network is just, it's unstable.
Oh, Jack is gone. I know. No, but
yeah,
that's the thing, is like I think it's just like the internet has been the space with the biggest free expression in Zim. It's like it's where you go for your content, if it's for your news, for your satire. And I think with the awarding of the 6 news stations, it's not going to change anytime soon. Like if you want true independent content,
not really.
You're going to have to go online. Which, I mean, to an extent, okay, it's great. People will still be coming and watching our shows and stuff. But unfortunately, it's not great for, in the long term, it's not great for, the creative sector and the, content creators in Zim. Because if we had truly independent alternative TV stations, we'd then also be producing some dope shows for TV. But now, regatite YouTube, Facebook, because I'm not producing anything. For those 6 new stations to censor our content.
Interesting. Someone is saying that there are 6 shades of ZBC. Okay, so do you think, okay guys, I'm gonna throw this to you. Do you think with the work that has been done thus far, do you think that Zimbabwe is ready for satire? Do you think that they're ready for us? Do you think, or they're just, do you think it's a level of tolerance or they're ready? What do you think?
They're opening up.
That to you,
I feel like they're opening up.
Okay. So you feel like they're opening up and there's more tolerance. But do you feel they understand what we're doing, or do you feel like they commiserate with us in what we're doing? Are they scared of satire, or how can you describe it, Fato?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, I think in terms of like general Zimbabweans, like young Zimbabweans, I think they get the satire. They watch it, they come there for the news, and that's reflected in the views that collectively we're getting, but also others, from Comic Pastor all the way through to these fantastic podcasts like Sadza in the Morning by King Kandoro. I mean, young Zimbabweans get satire. I think in terms of the movement, the government in a love-hate relationship in satire. Because on the one hand, of course, they clamp down. So, like I was saying, we've had threats and arrests. Of course, on the side, of course, a very high-profile one recently was the abduction of Gonyet for skits about the police that she did. So, obviously, there's a big impact that it has nationally, because even the government itself gets scared of it and reacts, which it shouldn't. It should allow us to express ourselves freely if we're truly a democratic society. But the weird thing is, on the flip side, they do watch the satire, so they criticize it, but they do watch it. Like, I remember once I was at a media conference, and the minister at the time, the minister of ICT at the time, Superman Diwanzira, he had done a keynote speech, what. So I asked him a question from the audience there, and Takabada Mike, just in the audience. And I said, asked him a question. And he said, Comrade Fatso, I follow you. And I was like, what kind of following is he talking about? The old school C10 following, or the social media following? And he's like, I follow you on social media. I was like, whew, at least. And then he was like, yeah, and I watch your skits, and I find
I'm just trying to.
You're back, Doc. So Mandiwanzira was like, I find some of your skits quite entertaining, and some of your criticism quite enlightening. So I was like, okay, these guys, they watch the stuff. They watch it because I think they also want to know what are the people thinking, how are we being critiqued. So they do watch it, but I think the thing is, there's still the tolerance for it still isn't there, because we see that all the time with the clampdowns on content creators. The amount of journalists and satirists that get attacked and threatened. So their acceptance of satire still isn't there.
Yeah, because even the ordinary people, the ordinary person will tell you, why are you talking about this? Why are you talking about this character, this political
I don't know what's happening I think I could pick up what you guys were talking about. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it disappeared. Yeah, network can be shit. But like I was saying, they will tell you that you shouldn't be talking about this. Or once you talk about political party A, political party B, you have the other ones telling you that you've been bought. And now you're agents of this political body, but it's just satire. You don't have to be. Someone doesn't need to pay you for you to criticize or to comment on what people are doing, on what your leader is doing. We're just there to comment and criticize. But they just believe that someone has to be paying you to comment on that, to criticize, to do satire. Or we've been accused of being paid by MDC or ZANU-PF every time. Every time we criticize Chamisa or Monzora, we have MDC saying ZANU-PF is paying you now. Every time we do a skit on ZANU-PF, we have ZANU-PF saying MDC is paying you. We've got my youth is there with ZANU and last time I think I don't know which holiday was it, but national. I think it was Heroes. It was Heroes. When my youth is it was intense. It was quite intense. So yeah, so the acceptance of satire in Zim, I don't know what you call about, but some, like you're saying, the younger generation is quite open to it.
Yeah, no, true.
Yeah,
but I think also then it's like, I think from people who watch the satire, and I think Kandoro made a good comment about it. He actually made a public statement. Is like when people comment in the comment section and you've put out a skit or whatever, and people comment, safe. Hey, are you not going to do it? Hey, and I think Kandoro put out a statement saying, guys, I know maybe you're putting it out coming from a good place or maybe in a humorous way, but for us satirists, like it ends up just striking more fear into us. Just can you let us do our thing without saying yeah, like it should be a usual thing. And I think that's true. If you're loving the satire, show support, comrades, but don't don't say now you're going to be abducted. Otherwise, we're just normalizing.
Yeah. Have you ever done this? Like you put out a skit or whatever, and you're not even mocking any political leader whatsoever, but then you have people saying, I know this is about so and so, and you're wondering how. And then you see what they're sort of talking about. Yeah. So now these guys are seeing satire where there is none. You're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Way.
It happens.
Yeah, like art is open to interpretation. So I guess it's working. The art is working. It's doing the job. Someone wants to support. And what do you need to do to support the movement other than laugh? Watch on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that question also it comes to the issue of the overall impact. Like, okay, after people laugh, then what? Like, obviously, on our part, when we are creating the content, we are just, we are intent of humbling certain, so to speak. We use satire to humble individuals, corporates, improvement, right? But then, for someone who's watching, they're asking a critical question. Other than us laughing, how else can we probably be of support? I don't know. How do you think they can also contribute as our audiences?
Fatso. To contribute, how do we support the movement other than laugh? I think Maggie mentioned, watch the content on YouTube, because of course then for those of us who've got accounts that are monetized, it generates revenue for us as satirists. And I think Bus Stop are a great example of that. With all the YouTube views they've bought not one but 2 buses. More buses than Belarus donated to Zupco. So that's one way you can support in terms of the income generation side. I think another way is when call-outs go for donations, if it's to raise funds to buy equipment or to support the show, like Sads in the Morning do that often if they're wanting to buy equipment or produce new episodes, and they share PayPal or PayNow details. It's like, you can contribute that way, because obviously the shows that we put out, that most of us put out, they're free for you to watch. So when we put those calls for support, please support. And then outside of the the financial side, of course, like a great way to support the movement is with solidarity. Like, I mean, if something's going down, if Simuka comedy is under attack or Maggie's being picked up, then show that support. Join in the campaign, start a petition, make some noise, raise awareness, be there at the courts. Send some chicken in, like a 3-pizza to Maggie if she's there in Central. Every bit of solidarity. Because that's the way we can build the movement is when we are also under threat or under attack, is knowing that the people are there.
Yeah, some people they don't think hashtags work, but the hashtags do work. So that solidarity is very important. Like when Gongeti was abducted, I feel that the moment that people started hashtagging, it brought awareness quickly. Like in 2 minutes, in 15 minutes, it was everywhere on social media. Kudara, if there hadn't been a hashtag, why was 2 days, 4 days later, so yeah, the solidarity is important. And also, like, let's say we do a skit or a series on service delivery, and we're telling you that you can ask your MP, you can ask your councillor, you can question this bill, you can go to you can go to your MPs and tell them that you're not happy with a certain bill. So we show you where to go and the steps that you can take. So it's the next time you're not happy with something, you can do it.
Sorry? I can hear Maggie fine. I think it might be your side, Doc. Go ahead, Maggie.
Okay, so like I was saying, now that sometimes we show you who to talk to, who you can talk to, where you can go to ask the pertinent questions, the important questions that can help improve your society, improve your community. So instead of just sitting, once you see what you can do, try it out. You never know. Go to your councillor, go to your MPs. I think that's one way you can help the movement, because that is the movement, to better our society, to better our communities, to better our nation. So go out there and ask the questions. Kuma bills, discuss on my bill. Let's go. Let's find out where is this bill being discussed. So we go there and not just sit, because we might be complaining to Chingo, sure, no should we take community kwedu, bana MP vakatora ground bora, and then what? What did we do about it? Let's complain kuti apana zvinoitika once we try to have some action to be taken. But pana kuti tirambe complain takagara. Vanongokudzai kuti tiriko kumaoffice kwedu hapana akamboya kuoffice kwedu. So go to those offices, and then we can flat out say kuti we've been to the offices and there hasn't been any action. We've complained, but there hasn't been any change. That's another way I think we get support.
Yeah.
Louis says the government is playing with Jokes Network. Government. And to make matters worse, I'm the government. I'm playing with my own network. Anyway, there's an interesting comment here from Sue Cheeks. We support whatever Kusadza in Matfia, Mahood now run challenge with fundraiser, go fund, but cheating day. So now I think also this brings back me my earlier session that so if people are going to support it, right? What is the outcome? What are they really supporting to my election day? And I don't can we maybe you guys can elaborate on that also, that what is this fund? Say someone does a GoFundMe for Simuka TV, but what is the money for? Maybe Fatso, Sue wants to know what the money for. Yeah.
I remember until remember Panama Domestics, this series that takaita 3 episodes, a pilot episodes of my Domestics, and that was like a year ago. And up until now, if people saying my Domestics how far, and we it's not cheap to do a whole production. It costs money. And like I was saying, this is the job. So we would want to pay other actors, want to pay for other equipment. We're still a baby company. So we're still starting up. So there's still equipment that will be needed. Muzoona a production that you be like, yes, EICZ production. This is with my dad. I can watch this. The storyline is on point. It's moving on. Saka, it's for you to get the productions that you see. We want this data at we don't get free Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi and I need a way to get to work. We need to keep the lights on. We've got families. So in the marriage. But we want to keep us work, to keep us on, to keep the lights on, to keep Bus Stop TV on.
Yeah, and that's very true, Maggie. And I think Sue, you are a satire veteran, comrade. Eh? You've been supporting SADS in the morning and buying the Maduro Fear hoodies. So we know now that Kandoro is fine until the end of the year. Eh? I think I reach his fundraising limit. But I think what Sue raises also is like, it's a great idea. If you run challenge, work fundraiser, go find me, what. Like, if you're so passionate about satirical shows that you're watching and let's say or listening to, and let's say that SADS in the morning, don't just wait for the team there to do a fundraiser. I mean, get in touch with someone like King Kandoro and be like, yo, we love the show so much, are you guys in need of any support in such and such a way? And they, I'm sure, would say, if you could do a run challenge to raise money to buy us $2,000 worth of equipment, that I think that kind of spontaneous support from our audience, from our supporters, would be amazing. Because I think as Maggie says, I think as satirical production houses, we have to find a million different ways to generate revenue, and the costs are there. Like Maggie's saying, it's there's the basics, which you office rent, markets, Wi-Fi. The productions cost money, because you just see me in front of the camera, you just see Maggie and Gonyet, but behind that there's a whole production team, director, producer, editor. You've got your admin team also. So there's a lot of bills to pay to ultimately produce that season of the week. So I think in terms of like, if our audience, if our supporters, if people like Sue Chigs want to come up with innovative ways to support, I think all of us are open to that.
Oh, yes, thank you. So I think also commenting on that in terms of the issue at Hidden Day, I think people also have to understand that all the satirists that are doing it in Zimbabwe, they do it, I think, out of passion mostly, and also out of the need to just comment and humble the situation in a way of saying maybe there might be change. Like kuti vanogona kunyarawo, vangangoshodawo, vangangonyarawo, things like that. So now I come again with a follow-up to say, do you think that we have done enough? Do you think that we have done enough to push for that these people might just think twice before doing something, be it society, be it government, being corporates? Do you feel, guys, as satirists, we've done enough, so much that the next time they want to smuggle gold, they will do it with a better container? We know it might not stop, right? But we're saying, do you think next time they won't use a handbag? Do you think next time they won't switch off the CCTV cameras because of maybe the work that we would have done towards that? Do you think we have done enough to push for them to think twice, be it government, local government, town, these councils, etc.? Do you think we've done enough for them to think before they do, before they act?
I think we're definitely. I think Satire is definitely holding those in power to account. I think just the amount of satirical shows out there, from skits to podcasts to news shows. I think it's much more than way more than we had 5 years ago. So the internet at the moment is the space with the freest expression in Zim. It's where you go for your alternative information. It's where a lot of mobilization can start around key issues. So I think if we look at this year, like a lot of the key kind of issues that have shifted the narrative, that have informed the national narrative, that have affected that have stopped the government in their tracks, has been a lot from online content creators. Hopewell Chingono single-handedly, exposing the massive corruption with the Drax scandal led to the Minister of Health being fired and court cases and so forth. Zim Lives Matter was a hashtag started by online Zimbabwean activists, and that ended up forcing the ANC government to send a delegation here. So I think there's a lot of power and impact in using our satirical shows and using our reach to raise awareness about key issues and to encourage mobilization of people around issues. Of course, our strategies can't just be online. Our online has to be part of a toolkit that includes offline action. So you're encouraging people to go to the courts or to gather for a demo or to sign a petition or to go around their community and meeting people door to door to raise awareness around issues. So I think satire is a really key part of that overall toolkit, and I think that our political leaders are very aware now that they will be satirized on a weekly basis. It's guaranteed that ED knows that there'll be a Wakuru episode that will come out after whatever press conference he's done or silly thing he's said. Maggie and Bonye doing a skit based on some crazy shit that's happened in Parliament by our MPs, and we will definitely have. If MDC does something funny, we can have Tinai as Nelson Chamisa and Munya as Fatai Mahere, and they know that they know that'll happen. I think there are some of our leaders who are more open to it, but I've accepted they'll be ridiculed. I think when we put out the Fatai Mahere skits, one of the first person to retweet them and share them is Fatai Mahere. So I think that's what we want to see more with political leadership, is saying, look, we're going to take the piss out of you if you say something stupid because you're in a powerful position. We're not attacking you. This is not attacking you. We're not attacking you personally. We don't hate you, but you're in a position of power, and we need to go after you for what you've said. And if you can accept it humorously, both.
Yeah, besides, they're working for us. Are they not?
Yeah.
I remember when Zimbabwe was still in power, Asati Aningrina, Asata Gunabas, Aka was on Twitter and was asked something, and then he's like, no, Timbomira, Bastopinos and Dita Skit Mangwan. Like, you wanted to, like, really think. I got to anyone like,
think before you act.
I'm going to quite talk about it was skit. So like you wanted to like really think.
Don't put impact, comrade. Don't put impact.
Yeah. So I think the long impact. Yeah, I think so. I think maybe the long and short of it is that satire has been of huge impact in Zimbabwe. I remember watching King Kandoro's clip being played before the president of the republic, and him laughing. It's testament to what the internet has done for satire, and it's also testament to what the amount of work that has been done by those who were there in the beginning, and those that were there while the struggle was growing, and those that are now joining the struggle as it goes forward, and it never ends. And I think it's also something maybe for you, Fatso. Maggie's still growing in satire because she's yet to unlock maybe many doors in as much as being exposed to the national platforms, etc., as compared to yourself. And looking at in close, because my time is jealous, look at the American scene right now, how the late night shows, the Trevor Noahs, like all these guys that were onto Trump. Do you think that the satire that they were using at the time pre the election, do you think it had an effect in the balance of power in the American presidency? Do you think that the satire they were putting out played a role or had an impact in the change that came about in the States?
Yeah, I think what's interesting in the US is that you've got so many young people there, your college students, etc. They actually did a survey some years back and found that more college students in the US would tune in to shows like The Daily Show to get their news rather than tuning into traditional news networks like CNN and Fox. And those late night shows, I mean, funnily enough, even though during the time of Trump, even though most of them are left leaning and quite progressive, like the Daily Show and Hassan Minaj and so forth, most of them received a massive ratings boost during the time of Trump because they were so critical of him. And of course, Trump, Bob, for us, just gave them so much material. So I think you had a lot of young people would go there for their analysis of what was happening with Trump. I do think definitely hosts like Trevor Noah, like Hassan Minaj, John Oliver, and others. I think they use their shows well to not just analyze how messed up Trump's presidency was, but also encouraging young people to get out there, register to vote, and so forth. So I think they definitely did play a role in it. On the flip side, the funny thing is going to be that their viewing numbers are going to go down now that Biden's in power because he's clearly as controversial. He's a boring old middle of the road centrist politician. So actually, the ones whose ratings will go up now is Fox News and those right-wing networks, because they'll be the ones now criticizing Biden.
Yes. Yeah, Maggie, do you think in closing, I mean, time is our friend. In closing, Maggie, do you feel like our satire can be as effective as the American satire? In the context of the question that I just asked, Fatso, without being direct.
Okay, let me start from the last thing that he said. I don't think we'll ever run out of material, no matter who goes into power. Remember, to be effective will always be effective, because no matter who you put into power right now, chero wada kunonga, chero kada kunonga kunzi pick wada pasina kana vote isa uipa power, will always be effective. There will always be something to satirize about. My potential leaders at now, essential. So yeah, when you compare our satire to American satire, Yahweh, stand out and it. and then Poeta change, Bob voted Biden into power, and then now they're like, okay, fine, let's see, he's doing a good job. Yeah, so pair. It's so
soon they're talking about the edge.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
No, I was saying soon they'll be talking about his age, saying that is too old.
Hey,
how can you plan?
Okay, they're watching. Yeah, it's also they are watching. It's also when Pakaita shifted. Did we have a moment to stop and watch, or Tadangoti, or we dove in? Pakachinja.
Too excited.
Yeah. Yeah, there was always something. There was always something, and I still believe that if there's to be a change of leadership, usually whoever is going to come up, whoever is going to go on, will still have so much to satirize about. I'm sorry, and this I might not, I might not be in. I did not faith a real word, but looking at all of the measures, I still would add there's so much material. We'll be satirizing for decades.
Looking at it, you are being a realist. So, time has been the biggest enemy today. I think our viewers, thank you for tuning into this talk that we had, the panel discussing the power of satire, the impact, how far does its influence go, specifically looking at the Zimbabwean landscape, our society, things that happen on a daily basis. And, as you have seen that if you have a white person in the house, they'll be there on time. If you have a female, a woman in the house, they'll be there on time. But the other comrades that cross in Popo, they'll tell you they're coming for Christmas. And then they'll tell you on the 2nd of January that they didn't get the dates. You spend the waiting and waiting. And then you have a comrade who is a real comrade from Acadia there, and he's a Keda, and he will not pitch up. You just say, no, substitutions here. Guys, any parting shots before we close off the program?
Well, Doc, I think you've done all the party shots. You've taken shots at Q and taken shots at Keda, so I've got no one left to do. But yeah, just shout out to you guys for hosting the Satire Day today and making the festival happen despite. And Pamberine Satire, my comrades, ahoy.
Ahoy.
Ahoy, comrades, ahoy.
But you remember, guys, December, I don't shine, bling everything. Now don't think it's a data like
hey, why should you be buying data? Be buying my 5-day cooking oil to bring back to the family here. Eh?
Yes, I'm not putting we somebody for South Africa. I don't think it's a data food.
Okay, guys, this is the power of satire. I've been Toby Kelam, and this is the Simuka Comedy Virtual Festival, which runs until tomorrow. So please follow our Facebook page, Simuka Comedy, or our YouTube channel, Simuka Comedy International, to follow some funny, poking shows. If you tune in also later on today, come out and myself discussing key issues on Hard Talk. So please be sure to tune in. Until next time.